Every year, 45 million Americans start a new diet, hoping that this will be the one that finally works. Worldwide, it's estimated that almost half of adults are trying to lose weight. And the reality is, the vast majority of these people will fail to see results long term. Even if they do lose weight, they'll regain most of it within a few years. The question is, what can you do differently and how to pick the right diet so you don't end up being a part of those defeating statistics? And that's what I want to help you today. I've been analyzing the most effective methods for losing body fat for over 10 years, and I've coached hundreds of people along the way. And in this video, I'm gonna rank the most popular diets based on what I've seen work for real people to get lean and stay lean. I'll go over the pros and cons of each diet and share the diet I personally follow that checks every box and keeps me lean all year round for over a decade. Because the real win isn't losing 10 pounds in a month. It's finding a way you can eat that works for years so you never have to worry about this again. So let's get into it. First off, the baseline for what not to do is the standard American diet, where 60% of the calories come from highly processed food. And based on research, we know that people consuming ultra-processed food eat about 500 calories more per day than those on a whole foods diet. This built-in calorie surplus makes getting lean very difficult. Also, only 12% of adults following the standard American diet meet the recommended fruit intake, and only 10% meet the vegetable intake. This can result in multiple nutrient deficiencies and poor health. And this diet is one of the main reasons why 73% of adults are overweight and obese. That's why the standard American diet is going straight to F tier. And since we're already at the bottom of the barrel, let's talk about a few more diets and fads that belong in F tier. First off, the military diet. It's a 3-day crash diet followed by 4 days of eating whatever you want, also known as a recipe for developing an eating disorder. Any type of cleanse, like the lemon juice cleanse, detox teas, or promising a quick fix that never lasts. The tapeworm diet. People actually swallowing a tapeworm, hoping it's going to eat the calories for them. The raw food diet. By the way, does anyone even know what happened to the raw chicken experiment guy? He hasn't posted in a while, and I'm genuinely concerned for him. And then I saw the cotton ball diet. People soaking cotton balls in juice and eating them, which is a horrible idea and it's very dangerous. It's hard to believe anyone would try this, but then again, kids were eating Tide Pods a few years ago. And this is a reminder just how desperate people can get in their search for quick weight loss and why it's important to approach this with a healthier long-term mindset. So now that we cleared out some of the fads, let's focus on the real stuff, the diets that can actually help you lose body fat. I'll break down what works, what doesn't, and how to make the best choice for your goals. The first one is the bro diet. When someone says bodybuilder or gym rat, this is the diet that comes to mind. We're talking lean meats, egg whites, rice, oats, sweet potatoes, and broccoli, and repeat. I actually followed a version of this diet myself in the early days, and it works. It's simple, it's high in protein, and it's easy to prepare. The main downside of the approach is a very narrow, clean food list. Depending on who you talk to, even things like dairy and fruit aren't allowed. Historically, there have been cases of bodybuilders using the bro diet for contest prep that, because of such a narrow food list, led them to deficiencies in calcium, zinc, and other important nutrients. For me, this one lands in B tier. It can work, but eventually you'll want more variety and flexibility, especially when it comes to social events. Next up, we have to talk about keto. The popularity of it goes up and down, but it's been around for a long time under different names. I've had clients lose quite a lot of weight with keto, one of them lost close to 100 pounds and stuck with it as a lifestyle. I tried it myself and it works. I mean, any diet that creates a calorie deficit will cause fat loss. While it wasn't hard to get into ketosis, I did miss some of my favorite foods like fruits and berries. And I didn't think the restriction was really worth it. I didn't feel any additional reduction in hunger levels compared to my standard approach with a high protein intake and lots of healthy food. And with keto these days, I see a lot of unhealthy variations of it. Instead of healthy fat and protein sources, people are leaning more into keto-friendly protein bars, snacks, keto junk food, and getting their fats from highly processed food, entirely disregarding nutrition quality. In my opinion, if you want to do keto, at least do it right. And also from a health perspective, I'm not convinced keto is great long term. I would advise regular medical checkups to monitor your ApoB, cholesterol, and other cardiovascular health markers. That's why keto for me lands in C tier. It can work temporarily, and there are applications, especially in the medical world, but it's not really a lifestyle for most people. Now, the next one I wanted to cover is the Mediterranean diet, because it's consistently ranked as one of the healthiest diets in the world. It's flexible, social, and backed by decades of research. And if your goal is better health, you can't really argue against it. You get plenty of healthy fats, high fiber, and good quality unprocessed food. But there's one thing to consider. If your goal is more fitness related, so you want to get lean but you also want to build muscle, the Mediterranean diet doesn't really emphasize protein as the main component of every meal. So unless you really focus on getting more protein, most people will not get enough, which will affect their progress. Overall, I think this diet can go into A tier because it's a great foundation, and if you tweak it a bit to increase the protein intake and if you hit that like button, it's one of the best options out there. And that brings us to the next one on the list, which is if it fits your macros. This is basically an anti-diet which came as a response to the bro diet in the early days. The big idea, as long as you hit your daily targets of protein, carbs, and fats, anything goes. You want ice cream? Just fit it into your macros. Early on, this was a game changer for me to reduce stress around food choices and allow me to occasionally deviate from the plan without feeling like I'm sabotaging all my results. But where it gets tricky is when food becomes just a numbers game, it's easy to forget about food quality. And many people, including myself, made that mistake. Just because you can hit your macros with pizza and protein shakes doesn't mean it's good for you. And one of the ways you can improve this diet is by applying the 80-20 rule, where 80% of your calories come from whole, healthy, unprocessed foods and no more than 20% from processed indulgences. And with that rule in mind, this diet earns a solid spot in A tier. It's flexible, it's very effective, and most importantly, teaches people how to track calories and macros and how to build meals to get the right nutrients. Now, on the more extreme end of the precision spectrum, we got Brian Johnson's blueprint diet, or we could call a highly optimized plant-based approach. This diet isn't just about tracking calories and macros, it's about tracking everything. Vitamins, minerals, a lot of different nutrients, meal timing, glycemic load, also sleep, exercise, skincare, and pretty much everything else. Brian eats around 2,200 calories and 130 grams of protein every day. All his meals are engineered with the idea of slowing down aging and maximizing health span. He also takes over 100 supplements every day. And I really respect this level of discipline, dedication, and out-of-box thinking. We're all benefiting from learning from his experiments. But the thing is, most people aren't trying to live like a lab experiment, and they don't have a whole team around them to help them micromanage everything. And there are ways to simplify things while still getting the majority of the health benefits. So the blueprint diet may help Brian stay lean, slow down aging, and reach his goals, but I don't think it's practical or even necessary to go to that extreme. That's why for me, it lands in B tier. And before we get to the diet that I put in S tier, I need to mention intermittent fasting. It's technically not a diet, it's more about when you eat than what you eat. And I'm a really big fan. I've been doing the 16-8 approach now for more than 10 years, keeping my eating window between noon and 8 p.m. It's a very simple structure, and for clients who struggle with snacking or late night cravings, I've seen intermittent fasting be a game changer. As you narrow your eating window, you naturally reduce opportunities to overeat. It's very effective for getting lean, helps organize the schedule, and break bad habits like late night snacking. I would put IF into A tier, and the cool thing is you can combine it with any other diet and get all the benefits. So we have one more diet left, and it's one that I've sort of landed on after years of coaching and trying different things. I was actually thinking about a good name for it, and I came up with the Omni diet. Let me know in the comments if you like that name. And the idea is to take the best parts of all the other diets and leave out the rest. We take the simplicity and protein focus from the bro diet and keto, awareness of macros and flexibility from if it fits your macros, the food quality and variety from the Mediterranean diet, the high intake of vegetables and fruits from a plant-based diet, and combining all of that with some intermittent fasting to structure the day. So in the end, we get a diet with all the best features. You don't have to cut out all your favorite foods, you don't have to eat clean 100% of the time or follow a rigid meal plan, you're aware of your calories and macros, you have this ideal mix of variety, structure, and simplicity. And that's what I found works best for me, because in the end, the best diet is the one you can follow. Having to restrict your calorie intake sucks, but if you do it right, it's gonna suck a lot less. And no diet works unless you do. So instead of chasing the perfect plan, think about building one that fits your life, your goals, and your real-world challenges. And that's why the Omni diet lands in S tier for me, because it's a diet that's truly effective long-term, it adapts to my lifestyle, and minimizes all the downsides. And if you'd like me to coach you to help you set up your ideal diet to get lean and stay lean, details for coaching are in the description below, so check those out. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.